Welcome to Webstudiosi. This is the Webstudio September 2025 update. And there have been massive updates during this month, including, of course, the silent launch of Inception, the AI tool that helps you create fast design ideas. We also got a new UI UX for APIs, and with that also a couple of new templates, especially already the base row template, and a lot of community activities happened as well. Looking at the numbers, there hasn't been that much change. So some numbers up, like Reddit members growing by about 13%. Our Webstudiosi YouTube channel grew a lot by 72%. Thank you very much to all of you. And the Discord grew by 2%. So it's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of growth. On the website, sometimes Discord members didn't show up, as has been outlined by several of us in messages or in the chat. Before we dive into the most pleasant part, let's also have a look a bit at competitors. These competitors are not open source, but still it might make sense to have a look what is happening in Framer and in Webflow. So Framer had a lot of negative publicity, basically that prices were killing them, that cloud pricing is about like 10 to 20x the market price for alternatives. And the nice thing is, directly when somebody complains, Webstudio is mentioned in the comments. Up to a point that a lot of people on Framer and Webflow think that Webstudio comments are just a bot. So, hello bots. And here another one, what's happening in Framer, that somebody with 5 fully paid client website, they just went offline from one moment to another, and it took a while to reinstate them. More positive news, however, from Webflow. First of all, they built a couple of AI tools, not yet fully using the potential of AI, but they are well on the way there. More exciting, however, that they are doubling down on their own CMS and have better nesting and might increase the CMS plans. Webstudio has been a front runner using Cloudflare, and Webflow will follow, and probably by November will switch to Cloudflare, which might mean that Webflow sites that are slow now will become a lot faster. We started this month with a video, and thank you so much for all of your support. If you haven't seen the August Webstudio update, even though it's already October by now, please have a look, because you might still get a couple of new things. Who are we? Well, we are Webstudiosi, and my name is Philip. This is a channel dedicated to open source visual website building, and Webstudio and Studiosi in Latin students. It's kind of like a word combination. You could also say it's a word combination of web and Studiosi, so web students, but it also has Webstudio. We discussed also in the Discord, how could we call ourselves? Like Webflow has Webflowers or Webflowers. So from my perspective, of course, it was Webstudiosi, but we got a lot of different ideas, from web lords to studs to websties, and apparently websties is the one that is most appealing to most of us. So hello websties. And here are some of the Discord highlights. Again, as I mentioned, on Reddit, we are gaining traction. We are seen as the Webstudio bot army, but here is in our Discord what's happening. We started with the monthly update, and Mono asked about the roadmap, because there's a lot of things open. Unfortunately, it's more of a backlog, and we shouldn't expect all of these to happen in 2025. Here's the roadmap, and other sources are linked below, so please have a look to check out all those websites. We see there's a lot of things in Next and in the backlog, and probably not happening 2025, but if you see the in progress things, better UI for working with APIs, Inception, these are all already launched, and it's more of a fine-tuning right now. What comes next is a bit unclear. I uploaded a video about website speed, comparing different Webstudio websites to Webflow and Framer websites, especially to the ones that are supposed to be very fast, and Webstudio wins in all of these. However, I put this video into private because I made a mistake in saying that it might make sense to resize photos or images. It doesn't, because the resizing and upgrading to WebP goes automatic in Webstudio. That's maybe that has triggered Igor to ask the question about optimizing images and about resizing. And yes, Webstudio automatically resizes it based on predefined set of sizes. That's why I put that video on hold, but thank you for the very positive feedback for the video so far and the 50-60 views that it got. And here we see Mark has rebuilt his site in Webstudio, and he directly seen the improvements in performance, like 100 across the board and 98 in performance here on mobile, as to say, coming from Framer, which might be even slightly faster compared to Webflow. Sam created a video, again, all linked below, about how to include audio files here via Cloudflare. Please have a look if audio files is something that is interesting to you. And Remy mentioned Inception are incredible, great work. And obviously that is the big story of this month, even though it hit as a soft launch end of this month. And already, like after the soft launch around 25th of September, there have been about 160 messages received as feedback. Probably by this moment, it might be even above 200. So a lot of feedback and a lot of like small tweaks that the team, Oleg, Bogdan and the team are doing about it. However, there was also a negative comment or two negative comments about AI should be included in LTD offers, and there has been a bit of a discussion there. I wanted to include also this, well, maybe a bit critical comment. So we see all the wonderful things that are happening, but also fairly give space to the critique. My personal view is that Inception is a different product. But of course, it would be wonderful to have a simple AI, especially the AI to simplify API calls and integration with different CMS. However, people might have different opinions. I asked about which CMS you use, and thank you very much for voting. 7 votes were none, just pure Webstudio, which is perfect for smaller landing sites, smaller company sites that have maybe like 5 pages. But if you want to build a little bit of a larger site, then of course like a CMS might come in handy. Baserow has been the winner and is the CMS that I use, but it was interesting to see that so many different CMS are in use and got some votes, like Airtable, Ghost, Strapi, Highgraph. However, it was interesting to see Notion with 3 votes, and especially WordPress with 5 and Directus with even 6 votes. Unfortunately, these voting forms are limited to just a couple of different choices. So that's why I couldn't include all the choices. Next time, I might throw out things like Tina or Strapi or Highgraph, so we have more space for some others. And here you discussed about Zenblock, and again, Directus again, and also Payload and Sanity. So I might include that in maybe 2 months to reiterate and see how it goes. But as of now, I think it's also good feedback for Bogdan, Oleg, and the whole team to know that if they double down on Baserow, Directors, WordPress, it could already help a lot of us, but of course, without excluding any other CMS, because this open infrastructure is, I think, one of the many things that makes Webstudio just so appealing. And Directors has become like really a hot topic as well in the community. Thank you also to Dominik, who has created this wonderful video about how to connect Directus articles with Webstudio. And I think it's a wonderful addition because base row is a bit weak when it comes to articles. It's very good, very strong when it comes to more like comparisons and data. But for articles, maybe Directus would be good. And Dominik, hope you'll be back with your Arnold accent and with an update on that video. But for everybody else, please check out the video as linked below. And Igor also reiterated end of September another big update that was positive for the Directus users. Pickapods includes Directus now, and so self-hosting it on Pickapods should be now a lot easier than all the other different ways to figure it out yourself. And yeah, Dominik used a self-hosted version, and he's just absolutely in love with that combination. And we see that Igor already ran it via Pickapods, so it's already tested, and it could be a game changer for many of us. Base row, by the way, can also be run via Pickapods, but I think base row pricing is pretty cheap anyway, so even the cloud-hosted version is pretty cheap. And I rather like to support base row a little more via that and have a bit of better access to them as well. And here we discussed before the roadmap and what comes next. Igor suggesting a couple of small changes like gradient UI, infinite looping animations, the dashboard with list view, folders, tags, maybe some automatic systemic tags, maybe some manual tags, and so on. We have discussed about these topics. And yes, these could be some small changes that don't take ages to implement, but could still make life a lot better. And besides Inception, of course, a big update was how now the new UI and UX to use CMS or APIs. And for that, it was a big reveal by Bogdan. And I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I haven't really used it yet. I'm going to use it a lot. I just couldn't in the last couple of days. But this is one of the very exciting updates for this month. And including Bogdan also updated the base row template. Another big update from the community, the Trevo guys opened their library Pro. I think that is a lifetime subscription, so please check it out. And also Sam from OMX added some starter kit. Showcases, please check out my website webstudiosi.com, where under the Showcases tab you will find a couple of Webstudio showcases, and you can click on those and go directly to those websites to check them out. And also I have included a little guide about Inception. It's still work in progress, but since Inception is some additional costs, it might make sense to have a quick look first, and you might save like 10% if doing so. Our last community call was absolutely fantastic. It is growing. It was about 20 people in total, and at each time around 15 to 16 people. Timing is always a bitch, so it's a bit difficult to find the right timing for everybody around the world, or it's basically impossible. But that was a very good outcome, and we had a deep discussion about different CMS and how to develop further the connection with CMS. So here you see a photo that, without me asking people, I just took. So I hope it is okay with everybody. But yeah, some of us, like Kelly and myself, we were suffering because we were in a bit of a difficult time zone. But you see, like here, Igor also mentioned, hey guys, Websties, it's a bit difficult for people in like Australia or New Zealand to join, and I fully agree with that. So next time we will have a bit of a different time that maybe fits well for us in the Pacific time zone, but like it might, or the Asia and Australia time zones, but it might be a bit difficult for then Brazilians and Americans, but we will see. So now how can you help? Well, please check out my website webstudiosi.com. You have now two options to buy lifetime deals at ONX and at Revo, both below $100. So I think great deals. I bought both of them, and we'll test them out a bit more. Test Inception, buy some credit there to help the community, and also please provide feedback on that. Now, Inception has been soft launched. There might be a big reveal and a public launch on Product Hunt, potentially just this upcoming Monday. So please check that. Check Product Hunt on Monday, also Tuesday if it doesn't happen on Monday, and depending on your time zone. And please upvote Inception like it is a rocket. So spread the word on Webstudio on Reddit. Yes, we are known as the Webstudio bots, but that's how it is, and it's not just about like that we post a one-word Webstudio comment, but we really follow up with that. It's quite funny though that we are seen as that. Join us for our next community call, probably sometime mid of this month, and of a bit of different timing to accommodate people in New Zealand, Australia, and Asia. Please provide feedback on Inception in the channel on Discourse. And if you use Inception, please also share some screenshots and so on. So that helps other people to know that can be done with this kind of prompt, with this kind of different calibrations. Provide feedback also on the new UI UX for APIs, and please, like Dominik, if you can make another tutorial video about Directus, that would be absolutely fantastic. Or maybe also Dominik and Igor about Directus and Pickapods, that would be absolutely amazing. And there's this new base row integration. If there is a new tutorial video, that would be also probably very well received. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, but also please subscribe to like 360 Creator that does sometimes stuff about base row and self-hosting. Connect to or subscribe to Connet. So that is Dominik about Directors. Subscribe to Keep Learning and all the other YouTube channels in our community that we grow together. And finally, here's a little bit of a showcase of Inception. If you haven't tried it out yet, please go do that and try it out. Okay, let's have a look what it creates with this prompt. So here and here we see it's still working. And I feel this style is really nice. It's very readable, but it's also beautiful. It is, however, in times of AI, there might be a bit too much of those styles that are too like similar to other AI things. Now it seems like it's still working, so let's wait a bit. I don't want to create a new frame. I would like to use this one. So already 5 minutes, unfortunately, it's still running. So it never really finished, but now it seems finished because I had to reload it after like 20 minutes. I hope it works now. I go here, copy code, Command K, Tailwind, and it worked. Wonderful. This is absolutely fantastic. The only thing that sometimes doesn't really copy are those AI created images. I don't know why it doesn't work. It could be like a nice addition to have that work as well. But overall, I think this is fantastic. It is sometimes a bit buggy that sometimes it just keeps running. Like today, I kept it running for 20 minutes and it didn't stop. So only after I kind of like reloaded it after 20-25 minutes, then it showed this. The good thing is here I can also share it now with the team and maybe they can have a look at it. And that's it about Inception for now. Have a good one. That's it from my side. Please leave a comment and maybe a like. Join us at our next call and check out more of the links in the video description. Have a good one. Bye bye.